Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here, coming to you from my backyard in rural Ohio. I hope you can enjoy this woods in this area as much as I do. I know you only have a few minutes and I get a lifetime here, but enjoy the sound of the birds and the wind through the trees. It's a little bit of a cloudy day, but you may see the sun come in and go out, in and out. That's the way it's been doing all afternoon. It's July already, 2017. And this is coming to you. I'm bringing you messages, soul messages, and a few predictions. And so let's get started. Well, the first thing I want to say is I have to tell you a little bit about how my week ended, because last week I said we're going to have that lull and then zzz, and that lull and then a zzz. So it's going to feel like we can stop and catch our breath, but we can't for long because, you know, everything's going to break loose and we don't know what's happening. Well, I want to tell you, in my neck of the woods, the energy has just been whoa. On Wednesday, I had to stop and think of the day. On Wednesday, uh, internet connection was down all day. Now, I'm in a rural area, but we usually have decent internet connection, and it was down almost all day. In addition to that, my cell phone was not picking up a signal, so communication was a little interesting on Wednesday. Now, I have an office phone, so I could still work with clients, but it was, I was feeling a little out of sorts, shall we say, because I was feeling disconnected to that which I'm used to being connected to. And then the next day, well, that was Thursday. And then Friday morning, a storm went through and knocked out the electricity in the entire area for, I don't know, quite a few miles around. Now, it was only off for a few hours, but I always look at these incidences, as we might want to call them, these events, whatever word we put to that. If we look at that and we say, what's that about? Because it's more than what it seems. So what's the bigger picture here? Gosh, you know, is it if I look at my life personally and I have to make it fit my life as my bigger picture, and then I can take it into the bigger picture of the whole. So I look at that and I say, okay, the energy is really wild right now. The energy is unstable. And I will tell you, from starting with Wednesday, I said to a friend, I said, my brain feels scrambled. There's too much coming at it. And so I had to work extra hard at meditating. I had to work extra hard at keeping calm. Uh, so I used that time because keeping calm wasn't always necessary. So in order to calm the brain down or the mind down, I used that time for physical activity. I used that time for just not trying to sit quietly. So, so if I used up a lot of that electrical currents running through the atmosphere, then I was able to sit down and meditate because I channeled it through the body and then calmed down. Now, I tell you all this because this month of July, the energy is going to be very, I hate to say it, but it's going to be very difficult at times. And it's imperative that we stay out of fear, stay in love, but be aware. And when we're living from our spirit self and allowing that spirit self to live through the human self, we are more aware. And I want to give you just a little example of what I'm talking about, living with the intuition. And I can't tell you how important that's going to be this month, because this month, and I don't want to get negative and I don't want to predict horrible things, but this month I want to tell you there are going to be some incidences that are going to be most unpleasant. And so if you're listening to yourself, if you're dealing with your intuition, if you're living in love, you're going to be able to stay out of the eye of the storms. You're going to be able to keep yourself and those you love safe. You're also going to be able to make your life easier. Let me give you a little example of what I'm talking about. When I came outside to make this video, Daisy was out with me, my dog. Many of you have seen her. And she wanted attention. And I said, well, I got to make this video. I can't give you attention right now. And usually she will just go off and wander off and do what she does. So I decided I'd put her in the house. Now, when I came out, um, I, I heard my inner voice say, check the lock. You're going to lock yourself out. So I checked the lock and everything was fine. But I forgot that I had a key in my pocket because I had been to one of the outbuildings earlier and I had a key to get in there. So I still had a key in my pocket. So I came out, and when I went to go back in to put Daisy inside the house, it was interesting what I noticed. The door I had come out, which is a deadbolt lock, was locked. How in the world would a deadbolt lock get locked when I didn't turn the key? Well, as I said, fortunately, I had a key in my pocket because I was listening to that. But for a moment, I didn't remember I had the key in my pocket. And I said, Diana, your intuition told you to check the lock. You didn't. But how in the world did a deadbolt lock get locked? Well, I can't answer that. I will tell you, with a different door, it happened to me one other time many years ago. So if I take that and I look at it, I want to say, first of all, I was kept safe. I was kept so I could get back in my house. And I also got the real gift here of, hey, listen to your intuition. Stop ignoring it. I'm the psychic. You would think I would always listen to my intuition, but I'm human. But I also look at that. What is the bigger picture here? What am I feeling I'm being locked out of? And so as I look at that, what am I feeling I'm being locked out of? Then I'm allowed to take my life to deeper levels, and I can say, well, if I feel locked out of this, then I can heal that and change that, and then I won't feel locked out. Now, I like to say where I live, the fairies did it, but who knows? I have no answer for how a deadbolt lock got locked. And by the way, when I walked inside, the key was in the lock. I don't know how it got turned. Beats me. Anyway, those are my stories. You probably heard me just slap my legs here, sorry. And I tell you those stories because I use those as illustrations, because it is so important this month that you follow those inner whisperings and you listen to yourself. If yourself says, check the lock, check it. If yourself says, don't go, don't go. One of my clients, a lovely young lady, and I don't think she'll mind me sharing this story, but I won't use her name, but she called me up because she was dating or starting to date a man, and she was asking me, she said, I'm not real sure about it. And I said, I think you have to stay away from him. There's something going on there. And I don't make decisions for people because that's taking their power, and I won't do that. But in this case, I felt fairly strongly that I needed to tell her that. Well, as it turns out, she couldn't go to an event he invited her to for a whole different reason. And what was really interesting is when she said no, she said to me, I learned his true colors, and it's not anyone I want to be around. That's the kind of listening to your intuition I'm talking about. You've probably heard me say it before, but God whispers or Spirit whispers, and if we don't heed the whisper, Spirit gives us the shout. And if we don't heed the shout, we get the big bang. Let's not go for the big bang this month. There are going to be plenty of opportunities for the Big Bang to happen. Don't let it happen to you. Let's see what Philip has to say, shall we? For those of you who are new to my videos, thank you so much for coming. For those of you who have been coming and coming back, I thank you so much. And for those of you who have made comments, thank you. I really appreciate whether you're sending the comments down below here, or you're using my website and sending them to me privately to tell me perhaps how they helped your life, or how it's changing your life. I am so grateful to hear that the words that come through me are able to help others. That's what I'm doing here. I'm here to serve. Thank you for helping me serve and allowing me to serve you. Now back to Philip. For those of you who are new, and by the way, thanks for telling all your friends. This is an oracle book, so every page has a different wisdom on it. And we just flip through, and we have to say left or right because each page has a different wisdom. So we're going to just flip through, start thinking left or right, see what you're going to get. I'm getting there, and I am getting right, but I'll probably read the left to you too. But here's the right. If thought is felt by those around you, do you not then have a responsibility to add joy and laughter to their world rather than sorrow and sadness? If thought is felt by those around you, do you not then have a responsibility to add joy and laughter to their world rather than sorrow and sadness? Keep in mind, we are an energetic field, and everything we think, everything we do, everything we say goes out into the world. And those around us are aware of it, whether we're in the grocery store or in our own homes. Let's be aware of what we're adding to the world. Excuse me, I keep scratching because little critters are hitting on me. Must be sweet. Let's be aware of what we're putting out in the world, my friends. Do we have a lot to be angry for in this world that we live in? Oh, absolutely. But let that anger be tempered. When you say something out of anger, when you say something out of fear, change it then and add something out of love. Let me read the left. Perception is judgment. Perception is judgment. I want to take that a little further too, because our perceptions are built on our DNA, which is a part of our heritage. It's a part of our perceptions come to us from a long line of ancestors. My perceptions come to me from my mother's, my father, my grandmother's, my grandfather's, and all the way back. So it's not that easy to say, well, this is just my perception, because it's not. It's bigger than that. It's much bigger. But what we have the responsibility of doing is looking at our perceptions, changing them so they're not judgments, so they do come across in love. When we feel fear, love will always be stronger. Change your perceptions, change your thoughts, and most of all this month, most of all, listen to those small whisperings in your voice, or the voice in your head. Listen to those small whisperings and heed them. The weather is going to be just as rough as we've seen it in the last few months. It's not going to get easier. The political situations, the situations around the world, we're in for a few more extra tough months. Let's add love and make our personal lives as beautiful, as easy, as flowing as possible. Let's add that to the world. Thank you, my friends, for being here with me. I love you, and I hope that you have the key to every door that you want to open. I love you. Thank you.